Is social media ultimately helpful or harmful?
Definitely harmful. It just diminishes all of these like really great human interactions that you have onto like a photo.
And it's just I don't like where the society is leading, because what will this end at? Where will we be in 10 years when people only know how to be engaged on their phone?
Social media has become so toxic and negative from the time that I started till now. Before, when I first started on social media, it was all about talent and entertaining, and everything was just bliss. Now it's all about cancelling each other out, sticking your nose into matters that don't concern you, people competing with each other, people exposing each other, and it's just become so toxic, and I absolutely hate it so much.
Anger is a very powerful emotion. So if they can stimulate you that way and they find out, boy, that works, they're going to keep hitting that counterprod to stimulate you that way, correct?
We appear to be a little pre-programmed, like our minds, to respond in that way. So these are, again, like I think about these like as blind spots that we have as a species that we need to be thinking about when we develop like new technology and how it can affect us.
So when we have conversations America has a problem.
Hello everyone, I'm Rosanisha. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to have a cultural conversation about the state of social media.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
I've been hearing a lot of cultural conversations about how social media platforms are leading to cultural degeneracy.
Social media has really rotted a lot of people's brains, and it's so scary to see what's to come as a result. I'm already seeing so much like negative attributes that it has on our society and the generation to come as a whole, but we still have yet to truly see like how far this can go.
Too toxic. Everyone has an opinion about absolutely everything. People just can't be happy for you, and competition left, right and center. What are you competing with? You are in your own journey and they are in their own journey. Like, why is anyone even competing? Please tell me why. Why are people getting threatened by people on social media?
For this video, I just have three main problem points, I'm gonna call them, that I want to allude to why I think that the current state of social media is what it is, honestly. Number one is social media is at an all-time high of recklessness.
Real quick, I used to think a lack of nuance was the reason why we couldn't have like realistic conversations about topics on social media, and I still think that's an issue, but the real issue is just fucking confirmation bias. And with the way these algorithms are set up, confirmation bias is the thing that's driving everybody's content.
You're being rewarded to be reckless.
Unbelievable.
You can't make this up.
Given the rise in mobile computing, the popularity of social media platforms has caused socio-ethical changes, risks, and uncertainties that are challenging to anticipate, reverse, and adapt to.
I feel like I was basically losing myself, honestly. I feel like
I made a video how I just met somebody at the dog park yesterday who literally told me she was going through this exact thing, and that's why she had to delete her Instagram. It is real. Like, you're not in this alone, and this is why I like TikTok, because it connects you to like-minded individuals. And I'm here to let everybody know that we are not in this shit alone. That like our whole generation is feeling the pressure to be people that we are not, and in turn we are getting lost. We have an identity crisis, life crisis. We don't know what we want to do. You know what I mean? So everybody feel like they got to be an entrepreneur, sell lashes, whatever. Like, everybody is really confused now about who they are, because social media has been influencing so much of our thoughts
about their identities, because they're so quick to hop on a trend. And it's nothing against trends. Trends are cool, but when you make a trend your identity, I think that's an issue. But this is what leads to this recklessness. So number two that I see is, I don't feel that it's really the social media platforms. I really think it is social consciousness.
And the results of this on younger generations are massive. So as stated in multiple articles like Why America's Self-Segregating, Why the Other Side Isn't Dumb, and stated within the Laws of Human Nature, this media exposure is huge. When we're only exposed to perspectives that agree with ours and align with our values, ethics, and approved morals, we lose other perspectives. Now, this lack of perspective is huge. It results in something called false consensus bias, which runs rampant in media right now. And it's when very like-minded people come together in a group to get their opinions validated. But as a result of all of their ethics and morals being the same, their opinions are very similar. So it's like a massive echo chamber. And these groups stick together because it's what they're comfortable with. And when they're opposed with differing opinions, it's so foreign to them that they tend to dehumanize the person with a differing perspective. It's total alienization.
Now, social consciousness is described as the set of shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes which operate and unify in a certain society. You can look at it this way: if you do not fit the cultural norm, if you're not doing what everybody else is doing, you can see on social media how negative people become because you have a difference of opinions, which I feel like is very, very sad, because it means that you're unwilling to learn from someone else.
Because let's keep it a buck. If you believe something in your heart of hearts, right, you're going to be able to find other people or other articles or other things that just confirm what it is you believe, and just ignore any other piece of information that can even challenge the thought process that you have. And whether we're talking about gender, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about religion, I see people just every single day just populate more things that are just in line with what they believe, regardless of if there's anything out there that can actually say, hey, wait a minute, think about this for a second. I don't think you're considering this. So then when you finally do come across somebody who might not agree with you, it turns out into an all-out drag-out fight that ultimately goes nowhere, because once somebody has rubber stamped their position about something, they're never going to go back on it, no matter what it is you say or whatever evidence you think you have. And I'll be honest, that's the main reason why I don't argue with nobody on the internet. I'm not going to argue with you, because you got it, because there's nothing that I'm going to say that's ever going to convince you otherwise.
Most of us have been socialized towards thinking convergently rather than divergently. We believe that there is always one answer to a problem, regardless of its complexity. I think that is like the prime issue of why social media has turned into this place of negativity and toxicity, is because of that point. We're human, so we have those animalistic sides of us, those lizard brain reactions, like, oh, hurt feelings, things we've been through. We all have these things, and to act like we're holier than thou, it's not worth it.
What role do you think social media plays in anxiety and depression among teens?
I think that the internet mirrors and magnifies the good, bad, and ugly. I think it absolutely amplifies things. And so I think that we have to acknowledge that, yeah, young people are genuinely struggling, but trying to make the tools for which they're simultaneously exposed to the world and the tools for which they're reaching out to people unavailable isn't going to make the mental health crisis go away.
The last point that I want to talk about is the advancements in technology. Does it mean the same advancements in mindset?
And there was a study done about a decade ago on college students that were just exposed to technology when it was first accessible. And you'll notice that even just with basic technology, empathy levels have dropped. So just imagine how much worse it is now 10 years later. This is just a quick visual for the study. You'll notice that when technology first became accessible, empathy went from all the way up there to dropping exponentially. And this is just within younger generations. So again, imagine how much worse it is now. Humans are very social creatures by nature, and this increased connectivity of American society is both a blessing and a curse. It allows us to be in connection with our loved ones, but at the price of what? As a younger person and the younger generations watching this, we are already so deep into our media consumption that there isn't much we can do to draw back right now. But the most we can do right now is be very, very mindful of how it affects us and the way we think.
I feel like this could be the deep issue. If you see people are struggling mentally, you see that they aren't there fully, that they're not grasping what you're saying through words, through the comment section. Like, you don't want to help them, you don't want to better communicate, you don't want to have better dialogue with each other so that we can create better communities, so that social media, everybody can thrive, or that we can create situations where people feel safe to ask questions that they don't understand without people attacking them. As a whole, if we don't want social media to turn into these negative, toxic places, then we have to think about how we consume information, how we create content, and what we create content about. I just wanted to, you know, add my little 2 cents into the conversation of why I think social media platforms are turning into like trash. And I feel like if we don't evolve our consciousness as a whole, if we don't learn how to think outside the box, this is gonna continue in this downward spiral. We can criticize without being nasty. Like, I see people who are just nasty in their way of delivering their criticism, and I don't think that's helpful. I just feel like we can be better as humans. Can we just say as humans? That's it. If you are on a personal branding journey, consider subscribing. I really just want to have cultural conversations about how to build better communities on and offline. I feel like that's my purpose. It's like, how do we build healthy communities that are first online, that we can take offline and have the same impact? Think about the change we could create, people. Amazing. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Until my next video, peace. Mwah.
One thing is sure, a great change of our psychological attitude is imminent. That is certain.
Why?
Because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself. He is the great danger, and we are pitifully unaware of it. We know nothing of man, far too little. His psyche should be studied, because we are the origin of all coming evil.